All right, all right. So we are back here. It's been a while. I hadn't posted nothing for September and August, but we come in with some heat today. All right, so we back here at the B-voy podcast where we're just trying to help people get on their journey to become the best version of themselves and, giving some insight, planting some seeds, and doing what we got to do to, elevate the consciousness of others so, we can just live in a better world. So I know you guys are probably looking over here who I got on the podcast today. I'm out in California where the parents is at. The apple don't fall far from the tree. That's why, I do what I do now. I coach, I'm helping the youth, and now I'm trying to give back to anybody that I can because everybody, some shape, way, or form, is a teacher, give advice, a good friend, a coach. We all doing it, but we just got to figure out how to do it a little bit better because you paying attention to the world we live in, we doing okay. Um, so, yeah, I got my infamous Pops here. Coached all over the place, influenced a lot of people, and I like to say he's gained a lot of good perspective over time, that he has just a lot of good insight, and he's always a constant learner, just like I am, just like how we all should be, because, growth never stops. Shout out to Jordan. If you're not growing, where you going? And so, yeah, I got this is going to be good today. So we gonna get into this, and you guys better tune your ears in because there's going to be a lot of gems. Those that know, So I don't got to speak too much more about that. But I just wanted to speak, because I know we want to speak freely and just have a, good conversation. And people just, they fill in and they get the gems when they need them. Mark, take their notes. Kids out there watching it, take your notes. I need to still take notes when I'm watching podcasts. So, I'm going to help y'all out by giving y'all that gem too. So take notes because sometimes you get into it and you be like, man, that's a lot of good stuff. But I need to watch it again. But if you was taking your notes, you just refer back to your notes, and you good, and you can take those steps and add them to your habit, lifestyle. Everything can go good. But one thing I just wanted to touch bases on with you, Dad, is just what made you want to coach? Because some people just don't know how to get towards their passion or do things they actually want to do. What was maybe just some steps that said, I would enjoy coaching, in the future.
Right. Your grandmother once said, you were born to coach. You were born to teach. You were born to help people out. And I didn't understand it. I was the oldest of six. And I tell you what, I learned a lot from dealing with my brothers and sisters. We're from the hood, a little bit, Marin City, that's cool. So to your question on how I got started, I just felt that I didn't know, but people used to recognize me as being good at it. One thing about me was in my family, my grandmother's like 4'10", my mother's barely over 5 feet. I thought I was gonna be 6 feet something, but we didn't grow.
Mm-hmm.
My brothers and I didn't grow. Your uncles didn't grow.
Yeah.
But when we grew mentally, and we grew from within, and we recognized that we needed to do some things to be better. It wasn't just about sports. My mother didn't play that. It's about academics. It's about being a academic athlete as opposed to a athletic academician.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked. It worked. So I try to raise my boys the same way. My thing is how did I get started coaching? I don't know. I just always played sports from the beginning. That was kind of a way out in the day. It's not good, but that's how it was. Entertainment, athletics. So you had to figure it out.
Yeah. You good.
Hear the dog
Yeah, you
barking
good.
and all that?
Yeah, you
Okay,
good.
Okay. Anyway, this is a comfortable conversation for me because of the fact that I watched these young men grow. I watched them do things. And I try not to ever take any credit because if they didn't want to listen, they wasn't going to listen. They didn't want to learn, they wasn't going to learn. They would have chose other avenues. I know it. Oh, I want to give a shout out to Jordan, too, before I forget.
Yeah.
I haven't met you yet, Jordan. I can't wait.
Yeah.
You guys followed a nice path. It makes me proud to see you young men just follow this path and just really getting to know yourselves and nature. But let's get back to why I coached. I never knew I was a coach. I just knew that I was a guy that started all the games, and I always had the balls, I always had the bats, I always had something. I was always choosing the teams, getting people together, and that was just a natural thing for me. And I guess we were okay. We were pretty good, I guess. I don't like to talk about how good we were.
Yeah, yeah.
But my main thing is I started recognizing things. I started going through things. I started telling my mother, they won't let me play. They won't let me play quarterback or whatever because they say I'm too small. But yet I do it all the time out here. They see me do it. They know I'm a leader. So she just always encouraged me to keep on going. Stay with your dreams.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
can do it. Don't let anybody tell you because of your size or because your skin complex. You don't worry about it. We know that that's out there.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to be that much better. How you get raised, you got to tell your kids you got to be that much better for a specific reason. But anyway, that's just how it was when we were coming up. So as far as coaching, I always worked in the boys' club, the recreation center, ever since I was a youngster. So I always dealt with kids. I always coached. Can you coach basketball? Yeah. See, we play all the time. Yeah. I know all these kids. Can you coach baseball? Can you do this? So I ended up doing all of that, taking all those jobs. Didn't really get paid much. Sometimes I didn't get paid at all. That was my community. I knew those kids. I knew their parents.
Yeah.
So it was, and they knew what we did. We were kind of a hit in the day when I was younger because we had a team from our areas that we traveled all over the place. We won tournaments and we did a lot of good things together. So these are things that some of my friends will never forget. I go back home now and they say, boy, that was the day when we played. I mean, they still talk about those days. I don't think about it as much. I more think about what's happening right now with the kids today. But anyway, coaching is something that I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about these kids. I don't want to be critical about other coaches and how people treat other people and just I've seen too many things and I ended up coaching when I didn't want to coach, almost like I had to, and you know what I mean. But it always worked out. You got to turn things into positives. I don't care how negative it may be or whatever. I told my son, I'll give you an example. My oldest son was playing Little League. I think he was 11 or 12 years old. He was one of the better players on the team. I knew it. He knew it. It was no big deal. And we faced in the number one team.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that. And they had that big left-handed guy.
Okay.
He was actually too old. They kind of got him in there illegally, but that's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't really care. I pitched BP to Greg every day, pitched BP to you every day. We understood it. And this guy was a hard thrower for a little kid. And he was bringing it. And he was going 1-2, striking out everybody. 1-2-3, 1-2-3. Even my oldest son, guys, he struck out. He batted 3 times. He struck out 2 times. The second time he struck out, but he struck out swinging. He wasn't scared. You knew that he's going to time this thing. And he came back and he had tears in his eyes. And I'm looking at him. I said, I know you feel bad about striking out, but you just struck out. Everybody strike out from time to time. I said, you're going to come into a situation, get your head together because you're going to come into a situation where you're going to have a chance to win this game. The very last inning, he got up with 2 people on, and he hit a triple down the line. They went by 1 run. Now he's back smiling again. I said, control those emotions because you can get it back together. Everything is about relaxing and rhythm and timing.
Yeah. I just want to push this in here real quick, too, because people that are listening in, especially people that don't do so well in certain things when it comes to sports avenue, you got to have I was taught you got to have a short-term memory.
Yep.
Right. And so you have a short-term memory. That means you could come back and have more success coming forward because now you're not thinking about what you just failed at. It's only thinking about what can I do next. Same when you lose in a game, a card game. I deal with kids all the time. They get so upset that they didn't win because they want to win. We live in a society where kids want that quick dopamine release. They want to have success right away. But learning how to lose, I believe, is more important. When you learn how to fail and come back, that's more important.
Well, what did I used to tell you guys all the time about me? My mother always said, you get knocked down, it's how you get up.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my mom telling me that. and I'm telling you, I listened. It made sense. I'm like, why should I be mad? I remember even you lose a match and but you was a little bit more calm than Gregor. Gregor got hot. I had to bring him back.
Yeah.
You was easier. Hey, just a match. Listen, we're not trying to win the Olympics right now. You're only 6, 7 years old.
Yeah.
We're just trying to have fun. I want you to get acclimated to the sport, get acclimated to wearing uniforms, run around listening to whistles and bells, seeing how the whole thing works.
I was going to give a little perspective, too, because people that don't know, when I started wrestling, I wasn't winning all my matches. And I tell kids this all the time as a coach now, that the fact that I was losing all the time at a certain point in my career, it made me realize, why I wasn't
Right,
winning,
women. Right.
and so when I did take a loss when I was older, I got like, I got to work on this, I got to
Right.
work on that, so I didn't take losses as hard unless I really knew I should have won that match, but mistakes were made by a ref or whatever.
Right.
And so, those were the only matches I would get upset at. But if I downright got beat, I would probably be upset, but I realized, I made a mistake,
Right.
and I got to go back to the drawing board and get crisp up my style and my skills. But with Greg, the older brother, he came out, he was winning a lot. So, there had to be more, coaching and molding with that situation, because he already knew how to win. He didn't know how to
Right.
lose. And so kids that grow up and they're playing games, they're winning all the time.
They're not used to
That can be
losing.
good, but then
Right.
when they lose, they get real upset.
Right. Right.
They get heartbroken. Like, I'm supposed to win. I win all the time.
Right.
And so once again, I already spoke on it, but learning how to lose can sometimes be a better avenue for people that just are winning all the time.
I was always taught, if you don't know how to lose, if you can't handle losing,
Mm-hmm.
you'll never be a winner.
Yeah.
You'll never be a true champion. And my thing is, I believe in that, because I don't want to make this about wrestling, because we could do all kinds of stuff with that. I don't want to do it. But what I will tell you is that even with you guys, you and Greg, even the shot there, everybody, my brothers, it was all about mental and your heart. And if you could work those together, see, sometimes people look at just physical abilities.
Yeah.
You're not going to be nothing without the mental.
Yeah. Yeah.
The reason why we won so much, and I'm not trying to be precocious. I don't, you know how I am. I'm stoic. I'm modest. These people around here still don't know what I did, and it's okay. It's okay, because it's not about me at this point. It's about the people that I'm working with. And one thing about it, we're hard. We're tough.
Yeah.
But before the practice is over, we're bringing them back. We may bring them down at the beginning, tell them what they did wrong, what we need to work on. But by the end of practice, you already know we done brought them back up
Yeah.
way higher than they were before they even entered practice. So it's a mental thing. You got to stay positive, even raising kids, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I just want to say that I'm yeah, probably you guys can see that I'm very proud of my family.
Mm-hmm.
And we always working on getting better.
Yeah.
It's always working on learning things. I have different conversations with Marquise, Greg. It's a whole total different thing. Even though they did the same kind of things, I love it, because all the things that we talked about in the past, we talk about right now.
Yeah.
And we're making it better.
Yeah.
Kind of like the technique I told you. I said, after you won your first state title, I said, well, guess what you just did? You made it harder on yourself now.
Yeah.
You want to continue winning. Everybody knows you got a big bullseye on your back now. So they're going to be aiming to get you every time. And I said, which they should. And the thing about it, that should make you better, make you work harder.
Yeah.
You attain something, so you're going to stop right there. A lot of people don't reassert their goals. I have to reset my goals all the time, because we're accomplishing them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we still gotta keep doing it. I don't care how old you get.
Yeah.
I don't care how old you get. I still study all the time, every day. You see me.
Yeah. Before you keep going, too, I wanted to speak on something just real quick so we don't get off track. But,
Anything, you know how I
because
get.
we're talking about the topic of learning.
Yes.
People need to understand their learning style. Learn how to learn. There's like books and people that do classes on this stuff now, but some people, they're kinetic learners. They learn by doing. I forget the one with the hearing, or
Yeah, some is more
seeing,
auditory, some
right?
is more. Yeah.
And so, what would you say was your learning style? Because I know you'd speak on too, just seeing somebody do something and then going out there and trying to do it. But you get the technical terms and stuff when you get practice from seeing it from the right people or showing you. But what was why did you approach learning the way that you did, by just having to look at things from the outside perspective and just say, let me try to take this in, and then you learned it? Because it's just like, some people, they can't do that.
Right.
They can't just see something and then go out there and do it. They'd be a little scared, or I was like, oh, I need to know all the detail for detail, you know. I feel like your discovery of your learning also adapted, to school or lifestyles and all that stuff.
Well, you just said it. It's all about adaptation. I have to adapt. I mean, you have to adapt. We all have to do it. So,
Yeah.
so my uncle just said they play cards and stuff. They gambled a lot when I was younger. I don't know how much, to what degree, but
Yeah.
they used to use certain card terms. He said you got to play the cards that were dealt you, and you got to work with that. You
Yeah.
got to figure it out. And even when you're young, you still got to figure it out. You got to know what's right from wrong and all that, all that kind of stuff. But the main thing is you gotta have it figured out. You got to figure it out where I can't do it this way. This
Yeah.
isn't working.
Yeah.
I'll give you another example. You probably know this story. My son used to always say to me, Dad, you always tell us the worst things that happen to you. You don't tell us the good things. I said, Dad, how come you didn't tell me you knew this guy and that guy? Dad, I ran into such and such. This guy's the Olympic champion. He told me that you guys were real tight. I said, well, we were. Well, why you didn't tell me? I said, well, because it's not about me. It's about you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I try to do all the time, is to be passionate about others, so they can get some of the things that I'm trying to say. And if it doesn't work this way, I look at it that way. Better example is this. I know that we're speaking about wrestling or sports or whatever. I mean, we can talk about life. I can relate all this stuff to actual life. But I always say, look, this school does this. See, you guys, it's the way you guys coach right now. You and Greg. We don't coach to just our strengths and what we do. In other words, if I'm coaching you, just like you and Greg, you guys don't wrestle like me.
Yeah.
I wrestle. Well, our body types are different. I came from a different environment.
Yeah.
A little rougher. I couldn't make you be a clone of me. I wouldn't want you to do that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Or Greg. I mean, I wouldn't want you to do that. You didn't even wrestle like Greg. Greg didn't wrestle like you. Greg was he's been around the sport since he was a baby.
Yeah.
I was coaching college. And he just picked up terminology and stuff. This is how it is. The computer's running all the time. I don't care how old you are.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you got to be careful around little kids, what you say, what you do, all that kind of stuff. My thing is I watch you guys coach. And I don't know, you guys, it's an amazing thing. When you have kids, you'll see watching them do the things that you used to do, but they do it better now. They may not agree with it. They never agree with it. They think anyway. The main thing is that I watched them. And I remember referees coming up to me and telling me, I know you're proud. And I said, I was proud of them when they was born.
Mm-hmm.
I always knew that was greatness, and I look at it in all kids, though. I look at greatness in all kids. I don't care I don't care if you got one arm, one leg, you're missing an eye. We could do something with this.
Yeah.
That's how you guys are.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I love about watching you guys' programs, because you guys are recognizing your clientele.
Yeah.
You're seeing them. You're not just letting a kid come in there and say, everybody do the same thing all the time.
Mm-hmm. I want to say this real quick, too. Just keep your train of thought.
Okay.
Because I always like to throw gems on you guys, but it pays to pay attention, right? It just came to me as I was saying. It pays to pay attention, because whatever you're doing, once again, know your audience, know your clientele, and study them, right? Especially if you're doing something that you love to do.
Right.
Like, you already been there. You've been studying for a while. Now the
still do.
psychological aspect comes to social skills, all of it, learning how to communicate as a coach to make your athlete the best possible athlete that he can be. But you're paying attention. A good coach, great coach here. I'm still working to be great, but I try to pay attention to my athletes at a high level, that maybe, because we're supposed to see things they can't see.
Absolutely.
Right, and then teach them how to see things that we see.
Absolutely.
And so from that avenue, we're communicating in the psychology, the anatomy. We're paying attention to all of it and manipulating them in a way. I don't like manipulate, but I like to use manipulate in a positive reinforcement way. But
I like manipulation just like that.
Yeah, manipulate them to know that they're great, to know that they're really good, and to explore all their avenues.
Psychology,
right?
It's all psychology.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
It's not like I got to get them to buy into me. To buy into this program. And then I get them to buy into themselves.
Yeah.
And when they buy into themselves, they're going to really buy into the program. And plus, people like us, they don't have to be just like us.
Yeah.
Go, I want you to go to this camp. I want you to go to this clinic over here where this guy is. This is a friend of mine. You're going to learn a lot. I guarantee it. You have to keep widening your horizon,
Yeah.
you can't sit on it. You get
Yeah.
passed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like using sports because it's the same thing with life. You know, I talk about hustles. Yeah, I'm from a little small hood. You know where I'm from, and we talk about hustles. And people use hustles in a negative reality. And my thing is I when I went to college, I was hustling. What I
Yeah.
mean by that, what does that mean? Selling something, doing something? No, I was on full scholarships. I was on the varsity team as a freshman. All this kind of stuff. I went to a major university, but I was young, and I was raised the way I was raised, and it was from a small community. The college is way bigger than where I'm from.
Yeah.
Way bigger, 2 times, 3 times bigger. My thing is, I had to figure it out because I was worldly anyway. I was already traveling all over the country. I was good enough that I could make these teams. I'm not gonna go any further than that, but my sons know, and that's the main thing. My thing is, from all the experience that I received, that I sought after, I use it to help others.
Yeah.
And that's real. And when people get to know you, they see that this guy doesn't. His big thing is he really wants to help people.
Yeah.
He wants to see these kids get good. He don't care how they look, as long as they're respectful and doing well. You can't wrestle in that program and be in trouble all the time.
Yeah.
You can't wrestle in that program and not passing classes. You can't wrestle in that program and be disrespectful, especially to your parents. A lot of times parents drop them off and then they'll leave. You guys
Yeah.
go through that
Yeah.
now. Huh?
Yeah. Exactly.
Wait a minute, wait. I'm helping you raise your son as well through this sport, but it's going to help him outside the sport. I guarantee it. It's all about hard work and discipline. Anyway, we could talk about that for a lot. I like to relate stuff to life. We me. We always pray. You see me before your match, and I mean, before Greg was match. It was more. It wasn't for just you.
Yeah.
It's for these refs to ref right. It's for the other kid not to get hurt. It's for you not to get hurt.
Yeah.
It's for everybody to come out here unscathed and a lot smarter, a lot better. I learned to compete real well because I hate it. I despise losing. I'm the oldest. I'm supposed to represent my younger brothers and sisters was watching me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was a freshman, getting my butt whooped every match, pretty much. People know my career. They know it didn't go quite like that, but I did. I lost. I didn't know anything about this sport. I could play baseball. I could play football, even as small as I was.
Mm-hmm.
I knew how to play. I always played. I never wrestled. I let my neighbors talk me into it, and that started whatever,
Yeah.
Whatever the results were, however anybody want to look at it. Anyway, me coaching is more of a lifestyle because when you coach, I tell my wife all the time, you're a coach too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a coach, you're a teacher, you're a doctor, you're physicist, you're everything.
Mm-hmm.
You're everything. We don't realize it. We don't recognize it all the time.
Yeah.
And so my thing is just, if you could keep some, especially working with kids. I just had this conversation with you last night. I said, because I was saying it because your mom was there.
Yeah.
I said, out of all the kids that you guys have, do you have any problem kids? And before you answered, I almost started laughing because I knew the answer.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of those guys. But that's okay because our thing is to direct that energy in a way that they could utilize it. Maybe get a free education. Maybe travel the world through this sport. It's a lot of things involved here. We don't just deal with the kids, do we?
No.
We deal with the parents, the officials, the incidents, all kind of things. It's many intangibles that you have to deal with. And sometimes you guys have to deal with differently than other coaches, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I know. I don't want to get into the race thing. We get into that some other time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it is. I told you, your sophomore year, you snuck up on everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, what's going to happen your junior year? You're getting no calls. They're going to make you work much harder.
Yeah.
Because, it's not too many of us stand on that top podium.
Yeah.
That's for a reason.
I agree. Yeah.
So I guess my thing, and I hate to go there because you know me, I love everybody. How I am.
Yeah.
There's not too many kids that I see that I'm not going to make smile. Even if they lose to one of our guys. Remember when they was little? And I said, hey, man, don't cry. It's just a match. Next time you wrestle this kid, our own guy, you wrestle him much tougher. You don't make the same mistakes twice. So I'm going to see you again. So you better be ready. And I try to make them laugh, and they give me a hug or whatever the deal is. And my wife said, some people don't like when you hug on their kids. I said, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
You always shake hands before and after. The opponent, when he wins or loses, he comes over to the coach's corner and he comes to shake your hand. You say a few words, you go on.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't know what those conversations are about.
Mm-hmm.
My big thing is when a kid loses, he's feeling bad. Hold on, get yourself together.
Yeah.
You're all right. It's just a wrestling match. Just keep working harder. If you
Yeah.
feel bad about it, this is gonna make you work harder. But you gotta lose that being upset right now, because that next match you're not gonna do as well if you still have the same attitude.
Yeah, yeah. And I want to speak on this too about, because you said, shouldn't make the same mistake twice. And I mean, that can go into sports, life,
Everything.
anything, but we don't sometimes people don't realize they stuck in a loop, right? You have the same ongoing problems with, if it's financially, a family, spouse,
Everything.
whatever, right? That you encounter it multiple times. If you keep encountering those same things, you fool me once, shame on me, fool me
Right.
twice, you guys know the saying, but you're not recognizing how to approach the situation differently.
Right.
And you got to take different perspectives. You can't handle it the same way you've been handling,
No.
because look at the results that you're getting.
Absolutely.
So have realization of these moments, you guys that are tuning in, and really just say, I need to approach this differently, or I need to get to a different environment, get a different person in my life, because we're continuing to have these reoccurring problems, and we got to be solution orientated.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. No, really, that's the thing. See, this is what makes me proud of my sons. And I'm just having a conversation with my son. I don't know who's viewing this.
Yeah.
And I'm just, it doesn't, it kind of sometimes make me emotional getting older, because it makes me proud.
So you guys just listening, not older, we leveling up. I'm preaching that a lot.
Yeah.
We on the next level,
Say
gaining
it
more
right.
experience points, and we
Say it
got to
right.
get rid of that aging thing. We got to accept it, but understand we just at a next level.
We'll talk about age in
Yeah,
some
yeah.
other time, because I'm in my mid-60s, and I go to practice, and I can still do everything everybody else can do.
Yeah.
But I lead it, so I control it. And the thing about it, sometimes I have to grab some of these big guys and show them a couple of things. And you got to keep your body right.
Yeah.
You got to eat right. We'll talk about that.
Yeah,
That's just,
yeah.
see, everything is so broad.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy talking to my sons, and this is a good moment for me. We're sitting in the backyard. He's visiting. I ain't seen him, so I guess that's a personal thing. You might have to cut some of this out.
No.
This is
Leave it
between me
in.
and
Leave
you
it
two.
in. Yeah.
That-
They need to hear it.
Well, I guess my thing is that I'm proud of you and your friends. I listen to the podcast. I got people calling me, hey, you ever hear Marquise and his friends? And I said, I don't even know him yet, but I kind of know him.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that?
And that's what we try to do anyways.
That's why I said something to shout out to Jordan, because I've been telling you, I want to meet him.
Yeah. Jacoby too. You listening.
Okay, yeah. See, I don't know all their names. And once I get to know them, I'm never going to forget it once I see them in person. I'm proud, because they're taking a path. We can choose whatever path we want.
Yeah.
And we're still going to get a lot of intangibles coming at us, a lot of interference, a lot of roadblocks. And you got to be able to see this. And the more you know yourself, the more you're in tune to what's happening in this world. A lot of people don't pay attention to current events.
Yeah.
They don't study it. Your mom thinks that, you're studying all this stuff all the time. I said, that's not the only thing I study. I just kind of pay attention to the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing we'll talk about. We'll talk about whether we were here or not.
Yeah.
Or how do we get here in the time, and in the kind of classes I had to take, and the arguments I got into professors about. I just spent $100 and some for this book.
Yeah.
And I don't see anything about melanated people.
Yeah.
And you're talking about anthropology.
Yeah.
I'm not getting this.
Yep. Those who know,
I just,
do your work, do your history work.
Can I switch the subject about history just for a second?
Yeah.
For a second. And I, when I was coming up in school, from my early days, and I kind of had a bad temper. It was a bunch of things that was going on in my household. We had a stepfather, just a lot of little things.
Mm-hmm.
Just wasn't right. Plus a lot of single parent. You didn't really see too many fathers, and it's a sad situation. But that's worldwide.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, especially in the United States, especially when it pertains to melanated people. I'm going to use melanated people as opposed to...
Yeah. I think that's the best, knowledgeable term anyways. If you guys know, once again, you know.
Well, that's how you and I talk.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just and my sons think that I'm really deep on history, and I'm going to tell you something about history and geography and geology real quick. Can I just
Yeah,
touch
yeah,
on that?
touch on it.
When I was coming in school, I could handle math, foreign languages. That stuff was fun to me, especially math. Math was a big thing. But when we got to geography and geology and history, you watch the One Slave movie, Harriet Tubman, and you watch it. It's a lot.
Yeah,
I'm not going to get too much into that.
Yeah.
It did do nothing for me but make me feel bad. And then you grow up, get a little older, you watch Roots, and you find out that Alex Haley really didn't. I don't want to get into it too much.
Yeah.
But that's for another time, when we really have time to sit down and just chop it up the way we the way we do. My thing is I hated those classes: geography, geology, history.
Yeah, they made them boring too. The teachers didn't make it exciting to learn
no,
about these things.
As I look back at it, excuse me. I remember the teachers' faces when they was teaching. It was like it wasn't even believable to them. It was like they was trying to take us away from that. And I wish I was wrong.
Yeah, there's teachers and there's teachers.
Right.
That's all you can say about that.
So when I teach something with passion.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's shooting marbles. I'm going to show him. I had my little great nephew. I said, man, we used to do this, do that. I was excited about it. I thought he'd love it.
Oh, just so you guys know, if you guys can teach something and it can be reciprocated in the right way, that's a higher level of understanding, overstanding. And so always try to give back if you know something really well, because that's the best way to validate it.
Well, your grandmother used to tell me, say, what are you trying to do? Save it?
Yeah.
Are you going to try to take it with you when you move on? Give it away. But that was easy for me because that's what I did anyway, because I had younger brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be good in something, they're going to be good in something.
Exactly. It only makes sense.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it is.
Yeah. That's how it should be.
If I'm from a family of doctors, I'm going to be probably speaking in a lot of those terminologies. Yeah. I'm going to understand about surgeries. It depends what kind of, if they're surgeons or what.
Your environment can shape you, just so you guys know the term, the epigenetics, look it up, look into it, do your own research. Anything we speak about, always continue to seek your own passion and do your own research.
Absolutely. And I guess my thing is we see things the way we see things. I used to give you guys examples. Me and you can watch the same movie.
Yeah.
And I guess I used to do this to you guys all the time. All you guys. What's your favorite part? What do you think this is really about? What is the writers and the producers and the directors what messages are they? Yeah. We talk a lot about hidden messages, right?
Yeah.
And we can name all kind of movies.
Yeah, subliminals, all those things in the background that they're trying to get you to see, or be there in the background, but not, you pick it up, but you don't realize it's there.
People get on me to say, I try to check your DMs. Are you on Facebook? Are you this? And I said,
Yeah.
I said, no. I can't get caught up in all that different type of rhetoric people are throwing out, because I'm not going to be confused about it, because I'm not paying attention to a lot of that stuff. And I tell you something, whenever I learn that I think that's interesting, I always check it out.
Yeah.
I always question it.
Yeah.
Even when you talk, Marquise and Greg talk, whoever I talk to, we do it differently.
Yeah.
But I always ask, how come? Why are you thinking like that? Even though if I have an ideal, because if you could change a little bit or add to what I know about it too, or vice versa, then we're going to do it to make that stronger. Remember, we talked one time, we talked about it's all about words, about understanding, about communication, how people use words wrong. You go to court and use the wrong words. Mm-hmm. Talk to the judge in a certain way.
Yeah.
You're thinking, yeah. Clink, clink.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know, I've seen it.
Yeah, people bank on you not knowing the right terminology.
With everything.
With everything, yeah.
Insurance, I'm telling you.
Read your contracts.
Right. Why you think they put them in a little tiny print with the bifocals?
Read the fine print. That's what they say.
Binoculars, you need all that just to see that stuff. That's hidden for a reason.
Yeah, and I always say, too, the more you guys read the fine print, and I still got to do this, because any type of social media kids that are looking at, maybe one day experiment and read those terms and conditions. There's an extreme amount of them. That's for a reason, but I guarantee they're getting somewhere in your privacy stuff where you're going to be like, how did they access this? And you try to sue them or whatever, they're going to be like, well, you signed the terms and conditions. You said accept and agree. And once you do that, they got you. And so experiment, start looking through certain things, and you'll realize, like, man, maybe I shouldn't. Why are they asking for my contact information and
Right.
this and that? They got everything in your phone. And once again, I'm speaking from experience, and I'm in the system. And sorry, you guys. We always make mistakes, have little technical difficulties. But what was we speaking on there? Do you remember what we was talking about?
Yeah, no, I do want to
Yeah.
say this.
Catching, yeah.
I'm gonna go this way with it. A lot of people don't know how you and I communicate.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And
Shouldn't know unless we let them know.
right. My thing is that I like when my wife says we can't go anywhere without you knowing somebody. Without you, I'm pretty social in my own way. I like making people comfortable. I like making people laugh. So remember the time we was in Florida? We went to the Disney World
Mm-hmm.
time ago, and I seen these three little kids, and one of them they walked with their parents, and one of them had a wrestling T-shirt on.
Yeah.
And I was walking by, I recognized it from, I'm very observant. That's another big thing. You gotta stay in tune with your senses.
Yeah. Pay attention to your surroundings and yourself.
Surroundings, you can feel things. I'm not talking about being paranoid.
Yeah.
I'm talking about just be aware. I just tell my wife sometimes somebody we be in a restaurant, I'll talk about the Florida thing in a second, and somebody will say something, and she'll turn and look at them. I said, stop turning and looking at them.
Yeah.
Use your senses. You can still eat your dinner and still hear. You eat your meal and still hear what they're saying if that's what you want to do. I don't do too much ear hustling too much because I'm not too concerned about what other people are saying unless they're saying it to me directly or how me or affecting some kids or whatever. You know me, I'll say it. I'm not one that will hold my tongue when something is wrong.
Yeah.
I can't do it. That's why I thank God I'm not in a situation where I see the police beating up on somebody, choking somebody. I don't know how I'm going to react because I can't stand there and just film.
Yeah.
But I'm running the risk.
Yeah.
I got a family. I got all that kind of stuff. But I think I know God knows that.
Yeah.
and so I don't get involved in too many things. As far as getting out there in the streets and I don't put myself in certain situations, especially now that I'm older.
Yeah. Pick and choose your battles.
Well, every time.
Yeah.
You really have to. You have to be aware. Sometimes things just creep up on you. Things just happen.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the amount of times I got pulled over going from Lacey to Green Hill School.
Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I can't. I said, look, why don't you guys just make a copy of my license and know all the cars can drive 3 different cars?
Yeah.
Because I got 3-4 different police pulled me over, and I said, I know you. Didn't they know? Oh yeah, you work at Green Hill. And I said, well, why did you pull me over?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's one of them things. We all have our things that we go through.
Yeah.
Some is a little different from others. I don't whine about it too much. I try to do something about it.
Yeah.
I try to deal. I could be angry at the police when they do that. I could do. Sometimes I have been. I have said some. I have said some things to some police officers, especially when Greg was in the car.
Uh-huh.
And I told him, I said, this is a learning lesson. He doesn't have to give us a citation. He doesn't have to do any of that. I just bought this light.
Yeah.
We just came. I said, I just came from right there. I just bought it. I'm getting ready to go to my garage and put this light in.
Yeah.
It wasn't even dark.
Yeah.
All the way. And he pulled us over. And Greg was driving. And I said, look, he doesn't have his license yet, but he has his permit. That's why I'm here. We just went to pick up the light. Somebody broke the light. You can see that it was broken. I don't know why that happened. I just drove down. Let's get this taken care of right now. This guy decides to write me up because he had another guy in the car that he was training. And I even talked to him too.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know how good a training this is, young man. This guy, he doesn't have to do this.
Yeah.
I said, I know it, you know it, but that's okay. I got the light. That means all I got to do is put it in, go back to the police station, let them know that it's in, and then that's done. So is that taking a little extra time? But guess what? My son has learned something here.
Yeah.
Oh, he said, well, why did he wait so long to pass it? I always told him, make sure you pull over where it's a lot of people so everybody can see what's happening, especially when you know that you didn't do anything wrong. So anyway, the guy felt bad, but I didn't mean him to feel bad. I just wanted him to, why did you choose us?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why us? I know you can see in the car. I told you, Mom, They pulled over because they said her tent was too. We bought the car like that.
Yeah.
But what it was, they thought they had her without a seatbelt.
Yeah.
She really didn't have it on, but I told you to have it on, did you? She said, no, but I heard her put it on when he came, but he couldn't tell. He said, you didn't have your seatbelt. She said, yes, I did. It's on right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he had to get her for something.
Yeah.
Your tent. We usually don't go to court for that kind of stuff, but we went for that. Just for that little thing.
Yeah.
The principle of it.
Yeah. And so you guys know, I mean, I don't do a lot of these situations, but I've done quite a bit of research. And a lot of times, I don't know about this situation, but, if you ever do get a ticket, you should always try to dispute it or go to court, because they bank on people not going to court. And they know people are intimidated by that. But a lot of times you dispute it, that cop doesn't show up.
Right.
That just gets dismissed.
Close it out.
And if you have any type of good evidence, and it's probably going to drop it anyways. Instead of giving you a high fine, it might get dropped, or you might have to just do a deducted fee. So
I
be
told
aware
you,
of that.
I got pulled over all them times going back and forth to work.
Yeah.
I worked the night shift, so I got off at 11 o'clock at night. Hardly anybody on the road. Sometimes it wasn't, but most of the time, hardly anybody on the road. And I would get pulled over.
Yeah.
And instead of getting frustrated and angry, that was the one thing. It was like 55 minutes round trip, one way.
Yeah.
And sometimes so many things happen at Green Hill, it's a juvenile facility. And you got to write up reports if something happens. Usually things happen just before my shift ends.
Yeah.
So guess what? I can't go home till I write an incident report. And I got to handle this stuff. I got to speak with other staff that was involved, and the whole works. So sometimes instead of getting off at actually it was 10. It was 2 to 10. It takes me another hour and a half just to get. So I'm kind of pissed because I want to get. I ain't seen my kid. I haven't seen nobody all day. And on my drive home, I always got myself together. You guys never see me come home being upset, did you?
No.
No, never. Because what happened there happened there. It had nothing to do with my household.
Yeah. I think it comes back down to having that short-term memory, like we speaked on earlier.
That's to your point. That was kind of to your point. I wanted to get that in.
Yeah, because I always tell people, just because you woke up on the wrong side of the bed don't mean the whole day got to be bad. It's up to you to say, my whole day is going to be bad. Or, you know what, I'm going to flip this negative into a positive. It's all how you, take in that energy and how it's once again, it's a choice. Just like emotions, you can choose to be angry. You can choose to be, and nobody's saying don't embrace your emotions, but understand that you're aware of the emotion that's happening or aware of the trigger that's happening to make you dive into this emotion. But at the end of the day, it all has to do with self.
Right.
And a big thing when you're talking about, the police situations is, learn how to communicate well, because certain things, if you don't communicate them well, they can have different outcomes. And then be aware, I want to create this ebook soon. Hopefully it's going to be coming out soon. No, it is going to be coming out soon, but you got to think before you speak and understand different situations that can happen, dictating your actions. Right. And so if you're starting to develop the thought process like that, you can kind of sometimes know what's going to happen before it happens, dictating who your audience is, who you're speaking to, and then saying, if I say this way, this could happen. If I say it this way, this is a better possible outcome that can happen. And then you start to, maybe sometimes your visualization, imaginations can put you in scenarios and help you have the best outcome. So that that phrase, think before you speak, is really important, especially when it comes to your actions.
To the utmost. I'm going to tell you, we talk about chess, playing chess as opposed to checkers. We do it in life. We do it in wrestling, sports a lot. I say, listen, you got to be a thinker. Yeah. I understand what you need to work on, what you're not good at. One thing about when your uncle and I, when we grew up, people used to see us practicing all the time.
Yeah.
Like baseball. Practicing short hops, backhand, and front hand. All the time. Letting our bodies get beat up, getting used to catching balls with our chest and our arms, making sure it didn't get biased. A lot of time we didn't play around. We was hitting it hard on the street, so it goes faster on the street, right, as opposed on grass or dirt. So when we got on grass or dirt, it was just, I remember when we got older, we were playing fast-paced softball.
Mm-hmm.
And the dudes was good, and we were pretty good too. But they looked at me and my brothers, oh, you guys think you're too good to play fast-paced softball. We didn't know what it was. Yeah. I didn't know. That was way back then. I mean, I seen it, but I didn't really pay attention to it. We played hardball. That's what we did.
Yeah.
Ronnie and I were playing semi-pro in this league, but they talked us into playing softball. We just we don't want to do that. I thought it was just like at school, pitching it soft and just hitting and play the game the way it's supposed to be played. This was on a different level.
Yeah.
The guys throwing 100 miles an hour. You had the same pitcher pitching 4 or 5 games in the tournament. They still throwing 100 miles an hour. You know why? That's a natural motion. Anyway, I don't want to give you the whole rules and everything on fast pitch softball. I just said we didn't want to play.
Yeah.
And this isn't a grown man league. So I remember a guy said, you and your brother think you're too good to play with us. I said, no disrespect at all. We just don't know. We don't know. We play all the time.
Yep.
I heard you guys could play, but you guys think you're too good. You just don't want to play with us. That's not it at all. All you got to do is ask, and I'll tell you exactly why. And then they invited us to a practice. And defensively, we did great. We've always had good hands, good gloves, good arm strength, speed, quickness, fast twitch muscles. That kind of stuff came with us. But we weren't used to hitting the ball going up. It's supposed to stay straight into us or down or away from us. They were throwing risers. We weren't used to it. They knew we weren't used to it, but they wanted to try to make us look bad anyway because we didn't go out for the team.
Yeah.
We both started right away. We was better defensively. We knew the game. They knew. And the thing about it was once we learned each other, start playing together, once they recognized what your uncle and I could do, everything changed.
Yeah.
And if they would just looked at it like that from the beginning, we could have been on the team playing with them and winning championships and all that kind of stuff. But still, again, in Marin City, that small little area, when we played games, we played night games.
Yeah.
It seemed like the whole Marin City was there. In other words, we were playing for our community. We got a few people from outside of the community. Every once in a while, we'll get a pitcher or we'll get somebody that could fill in. But for the most part of it, it was people that I went to kindergarten with all the way through high school.
Yeah.
Now everybody's grown. Most of us is married or have kids or whatever, and we got onto this team and we made some things happen. So people really looked up to us because they got a chance to watch us play. And when you watch a game, it's not about just scoring runs and getting hits and turning double plays and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of inner workings.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things that happen.
Yeah.
Especially to teams like ours. And the deal is that sometimes you didn't get the right kind of umpire. They didn't like us because of how we looked or whatever the deal was. But then it became respect because they said these dudes really know how to play.
Yeah.
They understand the game well. You're not going to throw a rule by them that they don't know, especially Ronnie and myself. My mother always said, be better mentally.
Yeah.
She ain't never played no sports. How can she know that? Told you, mama's is everything.
Yeah.
Daddy's is everything.
It's like a life thing, too.
What do you and I talk about all the time? Energy.
Energy, yeah.
The right kind of energy. And I'm telling you, without that, those different vibrations, people don't understand how stuff moves around from people to people. I always say, why do I communicate with this person so much better, this teammate so much better than this person? Because this person was thinking along the way, our energy is connected.
Yeah, I look at it too as just sometimes people have a better receiver, and so it's like
you gotta be the receiver.
They want to retain information, and so the people that maybe don't have the respect or not inspired or don't acknowledge the person they're getting that information from, it's like we say it all the time, it's just going in through one ear and out the other. But a person that wants to learn or that realizes this person's trying to give me some knowledge to help me win or succeed in life, they're going to soak that, look it up like a sponge. And so then they're going to be like, man, why is that person excelling so much better than this person over here? They've been doing whatever they're doing for the same amount of time. Right. It's like, well, this person, maybe they didn't have the right influences in their life, or they're just, in a rebuttal stage in their life. And so they just want to do it how they want to do it.
Right.
But then if you're able to receive and be open-minded, I'm not saying be blindsided and just take in all information, but realize an energy, right? That synchronicity,
right?
That, this person has been in my shoes before. He knows I'm feeling the inside, and I want to learn from him. So that's having like a recognition of, who you're receiving the information from. We talk camps all the time. we're going to see gold medalists or people that have been on a high pedestal, and then we see kids that ain't paying attention. It's like, this person
You
has
can
been
see
on
the
a high
difference.
level.
Right. Right.
For you to be coming here to be a part of this, paying the money, and you're not really paying attention, you're wasting your time, and you're not realizing that he's trying to give you gems. And people on a high pedestal and whatever they're doing in their career, why did they charge the money that they charge? Obviously, they got somewhere with their information and what they learned, and now they're saying, I'm going to give this back. And don't let them give it back to you. They're doing it for free,
Right.
and you're really not paying attention. You're
Right.
really not recognizing what's trying to be given to you. And so we have to recognize as a collective, kids, you teach them that at a young age, recognize, okay, you know who this person is?
Right.
You know what he's done? Pay attention to what he's saying. Or he's been here a long time. Respect your elders. I'm not going to say all elders, because some elders, they maybe
No, you're right.
are older, but they ain't attained a lot from life. And so, but understand your audience. And that can dictate you exceeding higher levels a lot faster. But it's all like you said earlier, it pays to pay attention and recognize your audience.
Understanding your senses, me and you talked about taste a long time ago.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
tell your mom about this. I still remember what Marquis said. What do I tell you all the time? I learn from anything and anybody.
Yeah.
If it makes sense to me, but I'm going to study and I'm pay attention to it. I look at I always talk about how I say, look at all these martial artists, and all the different styles that they have. Look at the names of the stances, the poses. They're after animals and insects and things like that, huh? Birds, the white crane, or the praying man. We watch. But we are. I like to say that because you had turned me on to a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
You watch cartoons. I said, well, this is Japanese anime, and this is
anime is way different than cartoons. Recognize that, please.
No, but see, you got to look at the philosophy behind it.
Yeah.
My thing is, they're doing some gems.
Oh yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into specifics because me and you can roll with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing about it, a lot of people look at things the way they look at it, and that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always tell people, you'll get it when you get it.
Yeah.
But I'll help you if you want. But if you act like you don't want to get it right now, I'll wait till another time. I'll have patience. I'll say, let's revisit this again.
Yeah.
We do this all the time.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that as long as they're aware, I don't have to say anything anymore.
Yeah.
And if they want to ask me about it, then we could dialogue about it again. We can revisit this thing again. My thing is, again, still the frequency, the vibrations. And you gotta, it's hard we take it for granted.
Yeah.
I remember one of my buddies that wrestled for me in college. He's been living in Washington all his life.
Yeah.
And from my window, you could see Mount Rainier.
Yeah.
And he said, so you guys could take, you've been to Mount Rainier before. You can go up here and you could do this and do that because I know you guys like to hike and do all kinds. I said, I never been to Mount Rainier. And he just started laughing.
Yeah.
I said, well, why are you laughing? He said, you're taking nature for granted. Mm-hmm. And it bothered me, but it didn't because I did take it for granted. Because we did go up, and I'm like, gosh, we should have been up here. We had these kids. Kids was born and raised here. We ain't never been to Mount Rainier. We ended up going, remember?
Yeah.
Just because of what he said.
Yeah.
And I called him. I told him, I said, Bill, this it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And I said, it was a lot of different things happening. It was just, it was during the summer, and it's still snow in the mountains. And, we ski and snowboard and all that kind of stuff. So it was more for you guys to see it, and they go out on the hikes and do that. I remember it started snowing when we went halfway. They closed the roads.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
They closed the roads. I didn't expect that because it was hot in Lacey. I wasn't thinking about the altitude, and I didn't get it. I did it. I didn't.
Yeah.
It's summertime. It's nice. Yeah. Shoot, we need jackets up here. We can't go. You got gloves? You know how we go snowboarding.
Yeah.
I got backup gloves, backup socks, backup everything. Because when I started doing it, I didn't have all that backup stuff. And so I got the little frostbite, and I said, that had never happened to anybody I ever bring. We brought many people, taught them how to snowboard, taught them how to ski. That's our thing. That's what we do. We teach people stuff, and hopefully they can use it, in the future. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just rambling. I'm sorry.
You're good. We're gonna
Me and you always had these talks. People don't know. We talk about everything.
Yeah.
And at least, The one thing about me and my sons is that I don't. It doesn't bother me at all. I need for them to know everything,
Yeah.
the truth, what's going on with me, how I feel. I don't like telling people I'm in pain here, pain there. I don't do that one too well. They get on me because you need to tell us. I said, well, I don't want you to be worried about it.
Yeah.
I said, I'm a tough old dude. I'm gonna be here. And like
Yeah.
I said, I look at age differently.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't look at, oh, well, what is a 65, 66-year-old person? How are they supposed to feel right now? What are they supposed to do?
Yeah.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
I still do the same things I did before.
Yeah.
I work out a little. I have to work out a little harder now.
Yeah.
Because that is a little problem with me. I got old injuries. I was an athlete all my life, so I'm all beat up. But you wouldn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So sometimes I have trouble sleeping and things like that. But I'm okay.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I think we have to learn how to keep our bodies young, even if we have injuries. Do your research on your rehab or your stretching or just things that are going to aid to longevity in life.
Right.
People don't take that serious, and when they're young, they're like, oh, I could have done all this stuff, but then they get a little bit higher up in the levels of life, then they're like, oh, I'm not, I can't do as much as I did when I was younger. Yeah, that's probably very accurate that you can't, but the more that you're learning about your body and tuning inward to say, well, I have a pain here, what maybe herbs or something I could put, teas I can put in my body, or
Right.
certain, foods or fruits I can put to aid to this healing, or what should I take out of my diet? And also, what should I stretch more? What kind of exercises should I do to maybe strengthen this or to, speed up the recovery? And so a lot of people don't want to put in that work to heal.
Right.
They just want to go to a doctor or go to a physical therapist so they can tell them what they need to do.
That's the problem to me.
Yeah.
You think about how you guys were when you had injuries.
Yeah.
I'm the first one down there.
Yeah.
They call me coach. All the other coaches call me coach too. Coach, we got this. I said, hold on a second. I got this. Remember when you hurt your knee? I never see you get hurt ever.
Yeah.
Ever. And if you did, I had to really pay attention.
Yeah.
Then I had to ask you, you hurt your ankle on that one, you did this. I said, listen, you got to keep your head on the swivel. You can't. Anyway.
Yeah.
So my main thing is I'm the first one down on that field. I come running. That's when you were a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
I know you said, how does he remember all this stuff?
Yeah. It was my ankle too because I got high loads.
I know.
Don't
And
run
I
up
told
high,
you,
you guys.
but I
Like playing
told you.
football, running backs, run low your shoulder.
What did I used to tell you all the time? You run it too erect.
Yeah.
You got a bigger target. A guy like me gonna take out them ankles and knees all day. I'm gonna hit him hard.
Yeah.
Hopefully you go out the game. That's how we were taught.
Yeah.
That's how we were taught. If you're gonna play as physical, you got to be tough. No matter how tough. I remember guys pulling on me, big old linemen, and I would have to fake them out. I had to shed them. Good thing I wrestled because I was good with my hands and I had quick feet. But them dudes was trying to knock me into the stands all the way out the arena. You know what I'm saying? But I'd fake them out, make them look bad sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't ever remember getting hit real hard.
Yeah.
I could go low on them. Now you got to hit them guys up high. So football is a big man sport, even though little guys can play real well if they get given a chance.
Yeah. And shout out to all the we'll say shorter people in the world. Just because you're not as tall doesn't mean you can't achieve high heights. And that just means you got to be a little bit smarter, be more aware, and that's things that tall people should have too. But they take it more for granted. But being, we'll say, at AKA more of a disadvantage when it comes to certain things or being prejudged, that just makes you need to prove them wrong.
Right.
And let them know that, yeah, you may be taller than you, but I'm way more smarter than you are, and I could do things that you probably wouldn't even have thought of because you're not in the box that I'm in.
Right.
And so I have to think more outside of the box because of that factor. And that being said, you guys that look at yourself that, once again, are a little bit shorter than others, maybe you are at a disadvantage when it comes to certain things, but it's going to help you develop at a higher level because you're at a disadvantage. If you come from areas where, maybe you got a rougher lifestyle, when you get to that higher lifestyle, you're going to have higher gratitude.
Right.
And so now you're going to be able to perform better because you appreciate things. And that goes to all walks of life, being able to have good lungs and breathing correctly in the morning, that's gratitude and having that appreciation. So we leading a life with higher gratitude, we're going to be able to do things better and attract and not chase, attract those things. Shout out to Jimmy because he did give me that gym and I should have already known because we are magnetic beings.
Right.
But yeah, we're going to attract the lives and the people that are sending more positive, good energy because, we have that gratitude and we're not thinking about what we can get, but sometimes what we already have and being grateful for those things. So, kids, parents too, tune in because this is important that we got to give back generation after generation because we spread this. Now we're helping each other more. Now maybe we don't got to rely on the financial system. Maybe we can just have our own village and create our own stuff, and get out of the system. But, we just, once again, have more gratitude. We're gonna wrap this thing up. We had a lot of good information that we shared here today. I want to thank you, for me even being able to come out here because I'm grateful that I have the life that I have, that I'm able to visit, because a lot of people, I'll speak on this just a little bit, don't get too consumed by your job and make sure you always find time to have experiences. Sometimes jobs can strip you away from, you actually living the life that you have, and you don't want to, not every day is promised. And so, money is not everything. And figure out how to get out of that system because it will take your time up. And you don't, once again, you never know how much time you have in this world. And I'm not going to say when you pass away, it's the end.
Right.
But, try to be fully present in the experiences that you're going through in life because, once again, your job can take a lot of time away from you. You can be put on autopilot, and now you're not fully aware of what's going on in the world. All these things can take a toll on you. Right. But, we wrapping it up, but it was an honor for me to have, my pops on the podcast. You got any closing words that you would like to, speak on before we get out of here?
Yeah, first, I want to say the honor is mine, speaking with you. But we have these talks all the time. The honor is always mine.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that when you get older and you have kids and you look at them now, they're grown, and you see what they're becoming, because I know you're still becoming something. Mm-hmm. You're still on that track.
Yeah.
I'm still on the track.
Yeah, the evolution doesn't stop.
No.
Yeah.
I'm still on the track. And the more I keep learning, the more I can keep passing on. But also, just because you're older, you got more experience.
Yeah.
You have more experience because you've been on the earth longer.
Yeah. Should have a little bit more mastery of self.
Sure.
Threw that in there.
Sure, yeah. No, we you have to think like that.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know yourself,
then
what? Yeah. I guess, again, Marquise and I talk about this all the time. Always make me smile because he's getting more and more and more in tune, and I can see it. Listen, somebody could tell you that.
Yeah.
But
experiencing it, and witnessing it.
I can see it. And the thing about it is that, especially and I love all my kids, all of them. Here's my deal. They all have their own minds.
Yeah.
I never wanted them to be thinking the same exact thoughts as me. I want them to we share the same energy. We know that we're helping each other, or even their mom, because we're different people. But together with that mix, it created, what we created.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that, like I said, I grew up in a neighborhood where many of us didn't do too well.
Yeah.
We strayed or whatever. I don't want to get into it too hard, but it's, people paying attention to current events.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too much into that because I'm very particular about a lot of things I like to say. People probably wouldn't agree with it. Whatever. Like I say, check out everybody. I listen to everybody.
Yeah. And always do your own research.
But I do my own research. And I'll hit it from this way. I want to know the pros and cons.
Yeah.
Talk me out of what I'm thinking if I'm thinking differently. You and I do this all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Dad, look at it from this perspective. So if you think that you're too old to learn something, that's because you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Because they're young, they don't know nothing.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
I learn from babies. I study these kids that we have here. You're talking about 5 and 6 years old.
Yeah.
They do all kinds of stuff, but they've been through so much.
Yeah.
At a young age. That's why we have them now.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that they're learning things every day. I don't care what we always trying to teach them something. Even you being here, teaching them something.
Yeah, you always gotta.
They gotta get used to.
You gotta teach all the time, or have teaching moments, or you stop somebody
But when you
and you
teach,
have
do
that.
you learn as well?
Oh, all the time.
What do
I
I
might
tell
be
you?
actively learning as I'm saying something to somebody
Right.
because I'm paying attention to what's going on and how they're reacting. So maybe I can approach it a different way next time because I understand now that
Right.
maybe this wasn't the right approach and they didn't hear what I was saying. But we gonna close this
I
out.
know. I'm sorry. I'm
We gonna
ramble.
close it out.
Sorry, you guys. I ramble. When I talk with my son, I can talk to him for days,
Yeah.
hours, whatever. It doesn't make a difference.
If you know, once again, you guys know. If you know, you know. But once again, I thank you guys for tuning in to listen. It doesn't matter if it's 1 viewer, 100 viewers, 1,000 viewers. I'm appreciative of my audience, and I'm glad that I'm able to give back to you and help you become a better version of yourself because that's something that we should never stop seeking. Go get it today and always grow.